This is the only video on YouTube that teaches you how to find deals on BizBuySell. This is not for beginners. This is for people who have started their process. Once you get on this huge database with all these bells and whistles, how do you get on there and succeed? This is the only video you need and the only video on YouTube. So strap in so we can get it done. One that a lot of people look over, and it's actually one of my favorites and the most profitable on the platform, is sort of niche B2B software companies. Now, you can't get a big fancy software company, and you're not going to get a SaaS company more than likely for something that you're willing to pay. But there are some niche B2B software companies that are amazing. Let me give some examples. Think about a business that helps plumbing companies manage their people going out into the field and the time that they're out there, and sort of maximizes sort of an operational dashboard for the plumbing company owner to not have to have spreadsheets and pieces of paper everywhere when they're managing their fleet. Let's think about landscaping company who a software that says, hey, look, it's raining today, so these are the jobs you can probably do. It's not raining today, so here's the jobs you can kind of do, and can maximize all of that. Here's the weather, here's the services, can like operationalize that and make sure that people are going to the right place. Now, I just gave two examples, but in almost every niche industry, there's this little like niche software company somebody created, and it's sleepy, the website sucks, you're gonna wanna find out all about the tech architecture, good luck. But you're gonna look at the cash flow and you're gonna love it, because those companies are getting 30 and 40% margins, and they just keep on going. People talk a lot about the people who sold pickaxes to the 49ers when they were going out to search for gold. These are the kind of businesses that figured that model out. So you got to go find them. Can't forget about e-commerce, one of the oldest industries out there. You buy something for a little bit of money, you sell it for a lot of bit of money. That's the business. And they're all over the place. People have built them from scratch. People have bought them. People have put them together. People have tried them on Amazon. People have tried them on websites. People have tried them on other platforms. There's affiliate marketing companies that help with this. And so e-commerce is a very common business. And what you have to think about there is sort of, are the products that this company is selling, do they have sustainable margins? That's sort of the big question when you look at e-commerce, but you got to look. So you get on BizBuySell. The first thing you got to figure out is, do you care about what state the deal is in? And do you care about what size? So those two things you probably figured out by now. The next thing you need to know is, what industry should I look for? And I know you want maximum return and least risk and all that kind of stuff. So let me just tell you, I do 50 deals a year, and I can tell you which ones work, and that's what we're going to get into. So HVAC. So that is people to put ducts in your house, your air conditioning, heating and cooling is another name for it. And those businesses are repeat service businesses that people are doing on their homes all the time, because there's the install, then there's the repair. You know, that you're in Texas and the air conditioning doesn't work, and you're in Michigan and the heat doesn't work, you call in that day. And so those companies have that. They have steady workforces, they have decent margins, and they're one of those services that nobody's worried about AI taking over. Another one is roofing. So everybody has a roof on their house. The roof only lasts so long, and you got to put a new roof up, and then people are doing new houses that need roofs. And the roof is also a big deal in appraisal. So a lot of times you can't get a good appraisal, and you can't get good insurance if you don't have a newer roof. So these roofing companies have new construction business, then they have repeat repair business, and also storm repair business. So some crazy storm comes through and puts a hole in your roof. Hole in your roof, you're going to get fixed pretty quick. So these companies are sort of perfect for that. Another one is landscaping. Now, keep in mind, these are all in the boring business section, but the boring businesses get the best return because they're available for the least price and they have the least amount of risk. All right. So landscaping, and some of these I'm going to put together in a bucket that I would call home services. But landscaping is really important because a lot of people don't want to cut the grass. Now, the old retired guy sitting on the mower, he's loving it. That's cool. But you got to go to work. Your wife's got to go to work. The last thing you want to do is cut the grass. So all these people are paying for landscaping folks to come cut their grass, put the pretty trees up, get rid of this and that. And so they're doing it bi-weekly, once a month, once a week. And they're paying top dollar. This isn't just a cheap service. People are coming with real workers, setting up real gardens. All of those things are happening. And that's another piece of the value add, is that a lot of people who do landscaping also do soft work. It's like what they call like doing landscaping, building small like gardens, those kind of things. So you can actually add value add services onto landscaping companies. Also, private equity is interested in all the companies that I've mentioned so far, which means if you grow it to a certain level, it's very easy to exit to what I call a rich uncle that likes to overpay. So let's talk about a few others. One of my favorites, fixing the poop pipes. So plumbing, somebody's got to come by and take care of your favorite pipes in your house. And when they mess up, you need help that day. So it's all of these, when you need help on same day, what does that say to my capitalist friends? You have to pay more for emergency visits. So as an owner, although you got to figure out operationally how to get it done, those people are going to pay. People don't call around to 10 plumbing companies when their toilet's overflowing on the floor. Also, there's new house construction that needs stuff. There's also, as soon as an issue comes up, leaky pipe, simple stuff like that, people are coming out. And so this business is another repeat business associated with homeowners and families. And so all of these businesses, especially in zip codes where people are going towards, make perfect sense. And so now the Wall Street Journal and USA Today, when they're talking about all the Californians are moving to Texas, all the New Yorkers are moving to Florida, find one of these businesses in one of those cities that everybody's going to, and you're going to cash register. So all the companies I've talked about thus far are home service businesses. So you got to search for those on BizBuySell after you figure out your states, after you figure out your deal size. Next is trucking, especially towing, and I'll tell you why in a second. So trucking, how do you get your Jordan shoes or that nice bed that you have? How do those things get to your local store in Minneapolis? It's not a plane. It's not a boat. It's a truck. And so trucking companies are out here and they're moving stuff from point A to point B. Some are doing, across the country, up and down, the East Seaboard. Some are doing shorter lanes inside of a city. They call it last mile. Any of these, there's trucks, there's places you need to go, there's people who need to get there or get their products there, and you buy the business, and here's what you look for. So all of the other companies I mentioned, you should look at EBITDA or seller's discretionary earnings. In trucking, that makes no difference. You have to look at EBITDA minus CapEx, which is the capital expenditure or the money you'll spend replacing and repairing trucks every single year. So make sure when you're putting your LOI together, you have EBITDA minus CapEx as your multiple, as opposed to EBITDA. So trucking companies will make about 10 to 20% margins. After the CapEx, though, it'll be 15 to about 7 or 8. Why the heck would I do that, Elliot? It's a lot of squeeze, a little bit of juice. The reason you would do it is trucking companies have been around forever, are going to be around forever. They are like clockwork, and there's been shortages and availability issues with trucking recently. And what does that mean? That means companies have to pay more because there's a shortage. And so you go out here and you get these companies. Now, I mentioned towing at the top of this section. Why do I like towing? Well, towing is the kind of trucking business that gets higher margins. Towing businesses can be 20 to 30% margins. So if you find one of those, you found a needle in a haystack. And obviously, towing companies are pulling cars out of places they don't need to be, pulling cars out of streets downtown, pulling cars that broke on the highway, all that kind of stuff. And what kind of service is that? Emergency service. So what kind of money do you make? Higher margin. When you're broke down on the highway with the kids in the back, you're not calling 4 towing companies price checking. You're going to call one if the price is reasonable and your wife's yelling at you, your kids are crying. Yes. So think about what that would be as an owner, getting those calls, pricing that service. If you want more help with deal sourcing or how to manage and use BizBuySell, click on these two videos right here.